Well, Clare is a Catholic poet and podcaster on Grexley.com, and her book is called Stations, released late last week. Clare, thanks so much for being with us. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you, and thank you for doing a podcast for Catholic TV. That's great of you, and for Grexley. Now, you're busy. Okay, so you're a poet, and before COVID, you would travel around the country with your poetry. You're a podcaster, active in social media, and now an author. Were you always writing as you grew up, or was the writing something that was on the side?
It really started my senior year at Franciscan University.
Really? Wow.
I was processing a lot. I had gone through a personal loss, and writing became an outlet. And then after graduation, I went and served with the Missionaries of Charity in Calcutta, and I discovered poetry while I was there.
Wow. You know, Stations, as I understand it, is a collection of art and poetry that retells the story of Christ's Passion. And you do that through kind of starkly modern crosses. What made you decide to take that approach, Clare?
Yeah, I think if there's one thing that I see our country and our world suffering from right now, especially, is a lack of understanding each other and understanding each other's hurts and crosses. And so part of the idea with our book was to allow insights that will hopefully produce empathy. And if you read about a cross that you suffer from, maybe you will feel seen. And if you read about something that you've never really understood before, maybe now you will see others a little bit better.
What made you decide to write it? What was the impetus behind writing the book?
You know, people always ask that. And what I have to say is that all of the best things in my life have never once been initiated by me. All of my ideas, God's like, psh, no. But when it is really initiated by the Spirit, usually through a great friend like Ryan McQuade, our illustrator, that's when the magic happens, because it didn't come from me. So Ryan called me and he said, hey, do you want to write a book? And I said, okay. And we did it in a month.
1 month?
Yeah, it
That's
was
amazing.
very, very intense.
Hey, Clare, by the way, you obviously know that St. Clare is the patron saint of television, right?
I did not know that.
Oh, my gosh, absolutely. So that's why I just think it's a joy to have you on television today with us. And by the way, I was noticing your website is very, very honest about the book. The topics might not be for everyone. Could you share with us some insights about who should read the book?
Absolutely. I would suggest that anyone who can approach it with an open mind and open heart reads our book. I would say we're very honest about it, that it has very adult themes and also adult language, because we are describing moments of extreme distress and talking about situations that are very real. They happen every day to people we know, but might not be suitable for a younger audience. We do include at the beginning of the book a list of what those topics are and when you'll encounter them in the book. So if it's something that has been personally very traumatic for you, you'll know ahead of time. And then in the back of the book, we have a resource guide of corresponding resources, so that if something you read in our book drags up some old pains and old wounds, we've provided a list of ways that you can continue to seek help and community around those topics.
Why did you think it was important, Clare, to write a book like this that can be difficult with some of the topics?
Yeah, because truthfully, as a young Catholic, I don't see much else out there like this. And it's one of those situations where if it's not out there, you just have to go make it yourself. Mm-hmm. And a lot of topics that I feel have been shied away from because of their difficult nature. So I just thought it's time that we create it.
Good for you. I also have to ask you, you said this earlier, Calcutta? Tell me about that.
Yes. Yeah, again, see, that's another perfect example of it was not my idea at all. I got a phone call from a friend. He said, do you want to go to Calcutta? And I said, okay. It was
okay,
incredible.
I'll go to Calcutta.
Sure, let's go. As only a 22-year-old can, I was like, yeah, we'll go. And we were gone a couple weeks later. But it was, obviously a completely life-changing experience that I think is the reason that I am a writer today and the reason that I have the faith that I do.
And you have a great website for your poetry, but also one that's specific for the book. Is that where people should go to get a copy?
Yes, I would like to direct people to stationsbook.com. We made it super simple. You head on there, you just order one of our books, and you'll get a confirmation email and then an email when it ships as well. So if you order it now, you can still get it in time for the beginning of Lent.
Gotcha.
Before the show, Claire, we were talking about poetry, and I told you my daughter does poetry, and I'm sure would look up to you as a poet. What is it about poetry that moves you?
That's a great question. I love, because I have a business degree and I didn't really start writing until after college for the most part. So I love that it's so accessible to anyone because I really don't know the rules. I've never taken a class in it, but it is truly, you just splash out on page what you feel. And I love that it's so accessible to anyone. Anyone can write it, and people always send me their work and they say, is this good? I don't know. Of course it's good. If it's true, beautiful, and good, then it's art and it's incredible. And I love that anyone can do this.
Well, Claire, thank you so much for being with us. The book is Stations. Thank you for everything you do with Grexley as well. This has been a pleasure. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you.
Bye,
God
Claire.
bless.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.